Hello, my name is Amanda Noddings, and I just wanted to share with you guys a couple tips and maybe a little advice to help you in your first semester of nursing program here at Nightingale. These are not anything special, they're just things that were helpful to me. I'm the type of person who really likes to plan ahead and know what I have coming. And I know that for me, at least, it was really scary to be starting a new program and to be a new student returning, for me, older in life, and trying to navigate online learning. So I just thought I'd come on here and share a couple things that were helpful to me. Last semester I had BSN 205, 225, and 215. But I think these are helpful no matter what you're taking. And the first thing I would say is to get as organized as you can right off the bat in the beginning of the semester. So whether that means using a paper planner, which is what I do, or an online planner, whatever system you find that works for you, having a system is going to be so helpful. There's no acceptance of late work for EL, which means experiential learning, at all. So if you miss something, you get a 0. And you still have to complete it, but you get a 0. So being organized with your time and your due dates is super, super important. I'll show you how I did that really quick, but feel free to take it as advice that you can use or not. But this is my planner that I use because I'm a pen and paper person. I feel like I retain things better when I'm writing, and I'm very visual, so I like to see things laid out. So the first thing I did was Canvas, the online app that goes with school. You'll want to download that, and then the Bookshelf app. Once you get into your classes, you can download those for your phone or your iPad, and they'll be really helpful. And you can change the tile color of each class on that. So I assign each class a different color, and then I make my colors in my planner match the class. So everything for 205 is in purple. And at the beginning of the week, I kind of lay out what I need to do. So I have my reading here, any assignments they gave me. I kind of spread them out a little. I can always work ahead in the week, but I can't get behind because when things are due is when they're due. Most things are due by the end of the week, but not always. So pay very close attention to due dates. Also, you can look at due dates in the Canvas app, but I found sometimes not everything was listed in my to-do list in Canvas. So it was more helpful to me to make sure at the beginning of every week I had everything lined out that I had to do. So for 205, it was purple. And so I would write the assignments and then I would highlight them purple. And I would only color them off or cross them off once they were done and submitted. So that allowed me to work my way through the week and see what I had left to do because it was still white and once it was colored off. And it made it really easy for me to coordinate what on my app and what in my paper was all the same class. It also helped me to kind of break it down and say, you know what, this is the bare minimum I need to get done by Monday. This is the bare minimum to finish by Tuesday. So that was my system for each week, and I kind of went through, and then my regular life was down here at the bottom part. So you can see each week what I would get through, and then I would kind of put extra things I wanted to accomplish at the end of the week that weren't really for any class, like working on Picmonic to study or your best grade or anything like that. And then that way I had a master plan for the week every single week, and I could make sure I accomplished it. It helped me feel better when I would see things crossed off. It helped me not to lie to myself and feel like I was doing better than I thought and more ahead than I thought because it's right here in black and white, what's done, what's not. And I would put this all on at the beginning of the week. I have a little focus thing. So this week it says, this week's focus, it says focus, no distractions. So I kind of give myself little notes. Get ahead of the game. This week I really wanted to get ahead. So anyway, and then we had different videos, skills videos to do. So I listed those here each week. And as I completed them, I would cross them off. And that way I knew that I wasn't handing in anything late because late is a 0 and you don't want that. Let's see, I have a couple little notes here. So make sure you're accurate with your due dates and work ahead where you can. So you can't go ahead in experiential learning too often, but you can get ahead with reading. It was something I struggled with all quarter, but a helpful tip for that is to look up on YouTube, especially this first week before you're really bogged down in homework assignments, look up your best study method. The way everyone learns is different. So you can go take a test on how to best, what learning style suits you best. And you can also go online and watch videos that teach you how to pull the best out of your reading without reading every single word. Because when you get up to reading like 9-10 chapters a week of just kind of dry medical reading, it can really become a lot, and you can miss a lot of the important stuff by trying to focus on everything. So looking up better ways to read your textbooks is helpful. There's just lots of general videos on YouTube for that. And then knowing your learning style. For instance, for me, I'm very visual and I need to write it down. If I type my notes, I don't retain it as well as if I handwrite my notes. If I have something in front of me and I can see it visually, or I do it hands-on, I learn it really well. If I'm just listening, not so well. If you're an auditory learner, there's it's so important to know that, because you can make your notes on a memo app and listen to them while you're driving to or from work. You can look up lectures on YouTube on that same topic and listen to them. You can even set our textbook app to read the book to you out loud. I'm not a fan, but some people find it really helpful. So there's a couple tips for that. And then once you make your plan for the week, make sure you know what time of day you're going to do your studying. If you just kind of hope you're going to find time, especially if you're someone like me, I'm busy, I run a business, I work 2 part-time jobs in healthcare, and so basically a full-time job, a full-time business job, and also have 2 kids who are both still doing schooling at home because of the pandemic, so I have to help them throughout the day with school as well. If you have a lot going on and you don't make time to study and to rest and put it in your plan, a lot of times it gets away from you. So I think that's a really helpful tip for anybody, is to make sure that that's done. If I know I am working from 3 to 5 every day on getting reading done because that's when my kids are out of school and I'm going to send them outside to play, then that's when it's getting done. The other thing I do with my calendar that is helpful, and then I always try and keep Sunday for rest day, but I have friends who use Sunday to do that week's reading a week ahead. So, you know, whatever works for you, but I want a day with my family. Being a mom's important to me, so I make sure I plan those things in, like dinner and family time. The other thing I did is I put on my monthly calendar, which is also on a calendar in the kitchen for the whole family to see, the dates of any VCBCs. Those are there for everyone to see, to know that I need to have uninterrupted time during that. That is when you're doing basically like an online clinical, you're doing a class with your instructor and other learners, and you need to be in uniform just like you would if you were in person, on camera. Your camera needs to be on and you need to be present and engaged and able to focus. So I put those on my family calendar and then on here, so I make sure that I don't pick up any shifts during that time. I get the day off if I need to. If I already have something scheduled, I don't, I find the kids a sitter if I need to, or everyone in the family knows that that day I'm doing that, because it really helps make your life easier if your whole family's on the same page. They know that's important to you and they're supportive of that as best they can be. No one's really going to understand how hard nursing school is, I don't think, unless they're in it or have done it. Even your family who's watching you go through it. So being open with communication and letting them know how important that time is, that it's uninterrupted, and planning ahead for those these were like my VCBCs that I needed to be at. Planning ahead for those is going to save you so many headaches. So that's a tip. Once you get those dates, like if you get that or any test dates, your HESI exam at the end of the semester, once they tell you those dates, put them on your calendar and block it out. Another tip, I think, is to have your own study space. This is mine here. It has a couple pictures I like there. Has my books and my office supplies are on my desk, and that is my workspace. It's a standing desk, so I don't have to sit all the time. But making sure you have that dedicated space where you can focus. One thing I learned pre-pandemic when I was doing my prerequisites was that I didn't study as well with everything going on in the house, but when I went to the library, I was able to sit and focus and concentrate and get 3 times the amount of information and work done, information in my head, as I was in like an hour, I could get 3 hours worth of information that I would get at home because there was less distractions. Some people go to a coffee shop or something like that. I'm like a people watcher, so that's distracting for me. But a quiet library that's conducive to studying, or a room or a space in your basement or your garage or wherever you can go that's like your place and everyone knows not to bother you when you're in there doing work, is going to be so helpful. And yes, like I know I have kids running around too, so I understand it's hard, but the best you can do, this desk is in the middle of my front room. We didn't have a separate room for an office, but we just kind of had to make it work. And the kids know when I'm sitting out there not to bug me as best they can, unless somebody's arm is falling off. So that's what I did for that. And then I already told you about color coding those to match. Let's see. Oh, another helpful thing you can do before the semester starts is update your software on your computer. For me, Chrome is the browser that worked best. I have a MacBook, but this is an online program. Everything you're doing predominantly for schoolwork is online. So make sure that your system is up to date and you have good Wi-Fi. If you need, I had to pay to upgrade my Wi-Fi to the bigger plan because we were running out of data between the kids being online learning and me all streaming at the same time. I also had to buy a better router because it was getting too choppy for me to be streaming at the same time as then. So take this first week to really like have a couple things running and know, can your kids watch TV on the Netflix while you're in a live class, or will your internet not handle that? I found Chrome to be the best browser that works for all the school programs. I had no issues with that, and I set it to automatic updates so that I'm not caught one day where I go in and all of a sudden nothing is working right. Sometimes you don't know that things are not working because you just assume it looks right, but you might be missing things. Another thing I found is that in lots of our programs, it only works if your pop-ups are enabled. So for me, I had really tight security on my laptop and I had to go in and pretty much undo everything so that I wasn't blocking anything, because that will make the testing programs that we do for proctored exams and automatic videos and things, they won't work if your pop-up blocker's on. So I suggest you go in and just enable that or disable that right away. You're going to have to do it eventually, and it's just a nightmare if you're in the middle of a test and then you find out like your proctored window can't come on, or you're in the middle of a live class and all of a sudden you're not on the class. You're going to get in trouble. You're going to have to retake that session if you get kicked out because your internet isn't working. And every time you have to retake something like that, it costs you time and money. You don't want to have to do things twice. So just try and make sure those things are all up to date. It's an investment in your education. If you need a new laptop or something and you need to upgrade, I got a printer because I like to have things to write on. I got a printer off Facebook Marketplace for like $20, and it works great. I've been using it all year and printed the heck out of things. So it saves me from not having the option to print, and I can print wirelessly right from my desk, and it gives me something to write on. I've seen a lot of questions in the group about books. You get all your books online, and it is an adjustment for someone like me who's very tactile like that, and I'm used to reading in print books. It is an investment, an adjustment, I mean, but it gets easier. If there's a book, if you really like to have your books online, you can contact the librarian, or on a Monday, first day of school, you'll have all your books listed in there. If you want to get those in hard copy, go ahead. But one of the nice things about this program is you already paid for those books in tuition. It's included, so you don't have to go buy them. You'll have them, and you can download them to your phone or tablet. So for me, I downloaded it on my tablet, and that way I have it all the time, whether I am on Wi-Fi or not. It's in the app. So if I'm at my kid's softball practice, once I get her set up, I can do some reading while I'm sitting there and not even need Wi-Fi. So that's really helpful to have all your books downloaded first thing. And I also got blue light glasses. They're only like $10. You can get them off Amazon, but when you're spending all day on the screen, especially an old lady like me, my eyes get tired. I was noticing I was getting headaches and such when we switched. to online learning over a year ago now with my kids and me also, all of us online. I got the kids some and I got myself some, and even my daughter, she didn't say she was having headaches, but she said after she got them and I told them they needed to wear them, a couple days later she said, "Hey mom, my head hurts a lot less now." And I was like, "I didn't know it hurt before." And she was like, "Neither did I." So it's just a good way to protect your eyes if you're online every day, if you're always on the computer. So I recommend picking some of those up. I'm sure you can get them locally at a drugstore. I just got a couple sets on Amazon. They're all sitting on my desk over there. And I just have them handy so that I'm not straining my eyes as much. Let's see, update your systems, your software, books and ebooks. Oh, another helpful tip is that every invite you get to any online session or any due date you see is posted in Mountain Time, which is where the school is based out of Utah. So for me, one time last semester, I missed something by turning it in about 4 minutes late because in my time zone, Pacific time, it was only 11 p.m., but it was due at 12 p.m. That was Mountain Time. So it's really important that you don't wait to the last minute. If I'd had any choice at that time, I would have. But it's really important you know that everything is due. Any due date you see, any class start time you see is in Mountain Time. We use an app called Teams for a lot of the meetings that you'll have in class, and it's Teams is just in the Microsoft suite like Word and PowerPoint and whatnot, which you can go to the library and download to your computer. I didn't have it at the start of school, but I was able to download it for free. And Teams is kind of like Zoom for online meetings. If you've never used it, it's adjustment for me. I've used Zoom for years, for 5-6 years, but had never used Teams. But that's where most of your live sessions will be done. So downloading that app on your phone and on your computer and getting that set up is going to be helpful. And you'll want to use your school email address. Now, what's nice about that is every time a teacher sends you an invite and you accept it, it automatically adjusts that time on the calendar to your local time. So I will, even though the invite says 12 Mountain Time, it shows up on my calendar at the right time automatically. The only problem is if you handwrite something and you say, okay, my class is at 12 on Monday, and you forget to adjust it yourself. So for me, I have to minus an hour. So making sure that you are just really cognizant of time zones and know how many hours off of Mountain Time you are is really important so you don't miss anything. I guess that's probably all the tips I have to help, that I think are super important. I know this video is already pretty long. It's already 17 minutes long, but I hope some of them were helpful for you. And the last thing I would say is just breathe. Just breathe. If you are someone who has trouble with test anxiety, start watching YouTube videos on de-stressing and test taking anxiety tips now. Get yourself used to being able to sit at the computer and do that. For my exams, I spend the first 2 minutes before I even answer the first question for my big HESI exams just breathing, because it really does help for me. Everyone's going to have things that work differently for them, but I tend to be a kind of higher anxiety person. And the more prepared you can be, the better. And just remember that nursing school is hard, but this is an opportunity for all of us that we've wanted for a long time. In my case, it's been a huge goal. And if it wasn't for a program like this, I probably wouldn't be in the nursing program right now, because the local programs are getting smaller and smaller, more and more competitive, and the opportunities are getting slimmer. And it's a really great opportunity for us to all succeed and become the nurses I know we're all meant to be. And so if I can help in any way, I hope that this was helpful. If it was, if you have any other questions, just drop them in the comments below. I'll try and answer them as best I can. And hey, stay on top of due dates, stay organized, and stay positive. Don't let yourself get behind on things that have due dates months, weeks down the road. If you can get them done before, do it. It will minimize your stress, and it'll be really important for your success. And then I guess one last thing would be communicate with your instructors. They don't know if you're struggling with something if you don't tell them, and they can't help you if you don't give them the opportunity to help. So I reached out to one of my professors 3 times over the last semester to have a quick online session. One time was just to talk me off the ledge because I was so stressed out and I thought I was doing so poorly. Um, this is a stressful time, and it's a marathon, not a sprint, right? So don't burn yourself out now. Try and get really good habits started that you can use to carry you through, good study habits and good organizational habits that will help carry you through till the end of this program, because I know that it will help you as much as it did me. Okay? All right. Welcome to Nightingale and good luck this semester. Bye, guys.